Well, today is Mother's Day. At least it is here in Asia, and in a couple hours it'll be for you as well in the East Coast of the U.S. And we would like to take the time now to share our heartfelt feelings about our mothers. I'm going to go first, and you tell you how much I love and appreciate my mother. She's no longer on the earthly plane, but she's ever present with me, and I feel her always, in that heart connection. I always want to thank my mother for being the one that taught me to be a bit sensitive. I would consider my nature a bit of a sensitive nature, and I would say that I'm grateful for that, and that she showed me how to consider other people's feelings and be mindful of my own feelings and have that sensitivity. I really think it's been a wonderful tool to use within my own life, and comes straight from her, and I really appreciate her being my mother. Um, you know, I think as I go back and I look at the past, I just think I wish I would have spent more time with her, because um, this life can go by like that fast, guys. My dad's still here. He's gonna be 94 here in December, and he's still here. But been decades that my mom's passed, and I just kind of wish I'd spent more time with her while I was here. But young adults, they get busy, and you start having, you get married, and you have your own children, things like that. So yes, I miss you, Mom. I love you, Mom. And I think about you all the time, and I feel you nearby. And thank you for being a part of my life. Um, thank you for everything you taught me. My mother was also a creative person. She was great with words. She could sit down and write poems. It's one of the things that she could do. She did. She had the ability to make beautiful, you know, things in written word, and that was a real talent that she had. I'll never forget that. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge both of my ex-wife and my current wife. They're both mothers, and I think they're both wonderful mothers, and I appreciate everything they've done as a mother. And if you ask me, in my humble opinion, it's so much harder to be a mom than it is to be a dad. So I really acknowledge all the moms out there, all of you that are here, that you're a mom. I really want to acknowledge you because I just look at what moms do, and I feel like, wow, um, it's not an easy job to be a mother, but it is a joyful one. It is one that can be full of joy, and I guess that's what it's all about. And I just want to appreciate everybody that plays that role, and I think that's the cornerstone of society is our mothers, and the hand that rocks the cradle, as they say. Anyway, that's my tribute today to the moms in my life, and I'm going to pass the torch to anyone who'd like to go next. Who would like to go next and pay tribute to the mothers in their life?
I I can go.
All right, go ahead, Gregory Jones.
Um, so, um, Unfortunately, my mother's not with us anymore, but she was the most caring person that I've ever been around in my entire life, and I mean caring for people, and especially later in her life, caring for animals. And she would adopt strays and provide them homes. Um, she this is kind of funny, but she lived in a house that had woods on three sides, and she would basically feed all of nature. I'm talking multiple bird feeders, probably about 15 deer, including a few bucks. I'm not a hunter, by the way. Um, Raccoons, opossums, wild turkeys, even a skunk that came around. And she was the most wonderful person, and I miss her pretty much every day. But I have to tell you about my mom number two. My mom number two is my best friend's mom, who I've known since I was 1 year old. When we moved to their neighborhood right beside them, and my mom and her would take turns babysitting the two boys so that they could take turns going out. And so I've known this woman. This woman is 94 years old. So I've known her 93 years, although I don't remember the first few years. She lives in my hometown in Fairmont, West Virginia, and every time I go up north to West Virginia, I visit her. She's battling bone cancer right now, but you would not believe it, because she is the most optimistic person I think I've ever met, and she doesn't let it bother her one bit. And so I just want to give some love out to my mom, Barbara Jones, and then my best friend's mom, Sue Stevenson, because they have just been a huge part of my life. Thank you for doing this, Ace.
I think we lost Ace. Nicely said, Greg.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
I thought I was talking, but I had muted myself. I apologize. I was like, who wants to go next? And like, it was silence. I didn't realize you didn't hear me ask the question. So that was on me, guys. All right. So that was a wonderful tribute, Greg, and thanks for popping in there, Lisa, because that made me look. Okay, who would like to go next? Give a tribute to their mother.
I'll go ahead and go next.
All right, Hunter, go ahead.
It's been about 26 years and change since my mom has been in my life. And the first while of that was definitely probably the hardest, considering how difficult I was as a baby and then as a toddler. Just being honest, I was not an easy child. But it definitely goes to show how much mothers have an imprint on us, because I learned quite a bit watching her, and I learned how to sort of modify some of my behaviors to try and impress her a little bit, and ultimately that's helped to shape who I am today. Also, what helped to shape who I am today was my grandmother, my mother's mother. I call her Mimi, and for the last several years of her life, I was taking care of her along with the rest of my family. And she had dementia at the time, so at times it was definitely hard. But throughout all that, she taught me how to care about others. She taught me how to open my heart and to care more about myself and about the world around me. So the idea of motherhood doesn't just go for one generation; it spans numerous generations, and I see those imprints on me every single day, and I think about my grandmother every single day. My mom's still with us, thankfully. She's in her late 50s, so hopefully she's still got many happy years with us. But it it just goes to show how motherhood impacts us as people and how we grow alongside our mothers and how our mothers grow alongside us. And I'm honestly not entirely sure where I'm going with this now. So someone cut my mic.
Yeah,
Well said, Hunter.
yeah.
But I guess it all boils down to thank you to my mother, her mother, all the mothers down the line, and of course all the mothers that are with us here right now. Because
Well,
it
clearly
is
you love them. You can see that. I can hear that in
it
your voice.
it is a difficult job and arguably in many ways one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth.
All right. Thanks for your tribute there, Hunter, to the moms in your life. All right. Who would like to go next?
Well, my mother's been gone for 21 years now. And the last 3 years of her life, she was suffered from Alzheimer's. So, but my mother raised me right and everything. We were a poor family, but she always managed to have good food on the table always for us. And she always had a joy about her every day. And she went about life, no matter what was going on. And I miss her and appreciate her. And then my wife mother came into my life a little over 50 years ago. And she was a good Christian woman and taught us a lot of values and just one of the best cooks I ever known, along with my mother too. So I really appreciate them and we miss them. There's no mothers, my grandmother, every summer I'd go spend the summertime with my grandmother, my grandfather, and they lived in actually they lived in a shack. It was, we didn't have running water. We had to go to the well and get the water, and didn't have indoor plumbing or anything, and heated the house with a wood stove, and but I just love it. Every summer I went and spent with them until like my grandfather passed away, and but my grandmother and my mother and my mother-in-law all were the best moms to me in the world. Love them.
All right, Cecil, that was wonderful. And you just barely celebrated your 50th year anniversary with your wife, and
Yes, we did.
yeah, so that's amazing. And you have children between you and your wife?
We just have one son,
You one son, okay.
no grandchildren.
And how old is your son now?
He's 44.
44. Wow, fantastic. All right, well, thank you for sharing that tribute. Appreciate that. Who would like to go next? So far, we've had tributes from myself and Gregory, Hunter, and Cecil.
I can go next.
Monica, feel free to go next. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I want to contribute to my mother. She was a single mom growing up. I had a stepdad. They were together for 20 years, but it was a roller coaster. But anyway, she did the best job she could. We all grew up really excellent in a Christian home. My favorite memories of her was baking during the holidays and everything. And then I also have a mother-in-law that has been in my life for about 21 years, and she is a really amazing woman. Has kept me really grounded to see both sides of stories and stuff like that, and has been really supportive in my life. So those are the two mothers that are amazing in my life.
All right, amazing moms. All right, great. And my hat's off to you too, Monica. You got children of your own, and happy Mother's Day to you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
All right. Okay, who would like to go next?
I will go next.
Okay, Steve, go right ahead.
Well, my mother, first of all,
Feel free to turn your camera on if you'd like to.
well, I'm wiggling around too much.
Okay, got it.
My Parkinson's is not good tonight. The first thing I have to do is I have to apologize to my mother. She's been gone for 4 years, and I was a tyrant of a little kid when I was growing up, and I don't think I became mature enough till I was like 25 years old to appreciate how great my mom was, and she unconditionally loved us, and I didn't give her the respect that she deserved, and so after she died, I it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I just didn't give her my respect.
Well, you're doing it now. And
Yeah.
and believe me, she's listening.
Yeah,
She appreciates the respect you're offering now.
yeah. I sort of looked down on her a little bit because she didn't have a lot of self-esteem, and she really couldn't look at the person in the eye without her eyes blinking. So I really I didn't like that at all, and I should have been more understanding about that, because she didn't even finish high school, and she's had a super hard life, and she deserves a whole lot more than what I gave her.
Well, I appreciate your tribute there, Steve. Certainly comes from the heart, and that's what matters, right?
Right.
7 nights a week.
Okay, so we are going to go into our
What do
the
you
next
care?
one. So we
You're
got
going to bed.
right, we
No,
got
I'm not, because you're listening to a video.
we got people with the microphone on. All right, so who would like to go next to do a tribute with their mother? It's Mother's Day for most of us, at least coming up shortly. If you're
Oh,
in the
next.
East Coast. Okay, Barry, go ahead, Barry.
My mom was the best person that ever walked this earth. She taught me to be respectful to people. And the other thing is she taught me to always be on time. It means a lot to me and everybody else that I'm involved with. My grandmother taught me to stand up straight and walk. She used to put books on my head, and we'd walk around the house with books on our head so we'd stand up straight. And my present wife, Meg, is just a wonderful woman and a good mom to our child, Apple. And miss my mom a lot. Think about her every day. That's it.
All right, thank you, Barry. Appreciate that. Surrounded by a lot of good women, sounds like. And appreciate that tribute. Okay, who would like to go next? So Mother's Day coming up in a few hours for some of you. It's already Mother's Day here in Asia. And you don't have to do a tribute. We'll basically run till everybody's had a chance to do a tribute. So Is there anybody else who'd like to say something about their mother while they're here?
I will.
All right, Lisa,
My mom,
go
my
ahead.
mom is still with me. She's coming to visit me in August, and she'll be celebrating her 86th birthday with me. And my mom's the best of the best, and I can't wait for her to come see me. She's a remarkable mom, and she's had a good life. But since my dad passed 4 years ago, it's been rough. It's been really rough for her. But so she works harder than most people half my age. My mom. I mean, like she's out there doing yard work, cleaning the pool, and she's a hard worker, and she's gonna be 86. And yeah, so I have utmost respect and admiration for my mom. She cooks, she sews, she doesn't know how to do something, she figures it out, even at 86. So my hat's off to my mom. She's like Wonder Woman to me. So I can't wait for her to come see me in August.
Wow. Okay. What a wonderful tribute. And I'm happy for you. You're gonna spend more time with her. So congratulations on
Me
that.
too.
I know how much you miss
Thanks.
your father. You speak of your father quite often, so I know you really miss him.
I do.
Okay, so who would like to go next? And by the way, happy Mother's Day to you, Lisa. I think you probably
Thank you.
your kids seem to like you, so that's a good that seems like you're doing all right.
They're keeping me around, so that's a good sign.
That's right.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, who would like to do a tribute to their mother next? Okay, I know we got some of you are just really shy, and I know probably some of you are like, you probably want to say something, but you're probably too choked up to say something too. Yeah, and I get it.
Hi, Ace. I can go next.
All right, Susie, go ahead, Susie, you're on.
Okay. So, I have been listening to all of these wonderful tributes, and they're wonderful. It makes me really proud to be in this group. So, my mom was a little bit different. She was the youngest of 13 children, and I remember she grew up in a little town in Iowa, and lived in a neat old house that was only 2 blocks from the elementary school. And she had told me stories about my grandpa, how he would hide behind a tree when she was coming home from school. She never knew which tree. And he would pop out and scare the wits out of her. And speaking of him and the school and everything, I asked her one time, I said, Mom, what was the worst thing you ever did? And she said, well, I waited for the second bell. And the second bell didn't even mean you were tardy. It meant you still had a minute or two before you were tardy. But I thought, yep, I should have known. That's the worst thing my mom ever did. But on top of that, just to talk a little bit more, she was a teacher. She taught little kids. She loved to tell stories. She loved to talk. So I never had to talk when I was a kid. There was never any room to talk because my mom was always talking, which was okay. She just told stories that we had all heard a million times. She was a terrible cook. She burned everything because she was always trying to do 3 or 4 things at once. But her favorite word, the word I heard my mother say more than any other word, was delicious. She said the word delicious all the time. So she loved to eat. So that was fun. I miss my mom. She had dementia also for probably the last 3 years. But I miss her.
Wonderful. And your mother as well, right?
I have 5 kids.
You have 5
Yeah.
kids. Well, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you, Ace.
I hope all 5 of them reach out to you today, okay?
They always do, so we'll see.
All right. Good deal. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's tough not to be emotional right now, guys. So I know some of you just really want to unmute, but at some point we're gonna cut it off here. So we're getting close to that. So if you'd like to say something about your mom, feel free to unmute and go for it. All right. Calling out, going once. Gonna go to 3, guys. Going twice. All right. Well, I do appreciate going 3 times. I do appreciate all the tributes that were said and all the tributes that were sent out in the unspoken word, today. And as those of you that are listening to this on YouTube or whatever, and your tributes as well to the mothers in your life. And understand that by acknowledging and being grateful for our mothers, it gives us the ability to be better people. And what we want to do on Pool Funding is gather as many good people together and make a positive change in the world. And we believe we can make a difference financially for people, but I think Pool Funding is more than just financial. There's definitely a message of love within what we're doing. And we want this to be as much a pool of love as it is a pool of people. So thank you all for tuning in, and we appreciate you. We'll see you on the next time we put one of our trainings together. And bye for now.